ISIS in Egypt claiming responsibility for an attack on a hotel near the Giza pyramids. The group is saying that they were targeting Israeli tourists there after a call from their leader to target Jewish people all over the world. Former Arkansas governor and presidential candidate Mike Huckabee joins us now. Governor, good to see you. Increasingly, our newscasts are consumed by terrorism stories and the progress of ISIS. Is it your sense that the United States has unnecessarily ceded a leadership role in the world?
We've absolutely ceded the leadership role. I mean, it's almost like that while the beaches are being stormed, President Obama is building sandcastles, and he ignores the fact that we are absolutely under an eschatological attack. There's a great column today by Joel Rosenberg in the Jerusalem Post, came out this morning. It's an excellent reminder that this is eschatology. This is the end of times, the apocalypse for these ISIS fighters and for the Iranians. And I think we've underestimated the threat that the Iranians pose to us and how dangerous it is that we've entered into this agreement. These people are not interested in just carving out a little additional real estate. They see their role as bringing about the end of the world, and they're doing everything they can to hasten to that moment.
I want to step back and broach another subject with you. You were asked recently about Ted Cruz and the endorsement in Iowa of evangelicals, and you remarked that evangelicals are scared to death of a President Huckabee because you'd accomplished things and ruined their fundraising chances. That evoked the following headlines, calling you delusional, egotistical, mean, dejected. Your reaction to all of that?
Well, I think if people listen to the full podcast that I did with Todd Starnes of Fox News, I don't think they're going to see that at all. What they're going to see is a very honest expression. When I was asked the question, did I feel betrayed? I said, no, I felt disappointed. And I do, because there were people who came to my home, Greg, and urged me to run, said they would support me. There were people who have made commitments and promises that they didn't keep. I mean, there's a lot of things that we don't have the time to go into. Yeah. But the big point was this, that are we going to support people based on making sure that that person is the best funded, or is it the person who actually shares their convictions? Because if candidates get their same money from the corporatist contributors and donors that support the other candidates, then I guarantee you candidates answer to the ones who are throwing the dollars at their campaign. It always works like that, and anybody who thinks that it doesn't, they're the ones who are delusional.
Let me follow up on that. Are you suggesting Ted Cruz, who is well-funded, is lacking convictions?
No. I've just said that when I say something in Marshalltown, Iowa, it's the exact same things that I say in Manhattan. If I say something in Waukee, Iowa, I don't say something different when I go to Washington. I'll let you be the judge of that, but he's changed his position on a number of issues, and that's been pointed out by the Washington Post, the New York Times, by other campaigns and other candidates. So I don't have to be the one for that. This week the discussion was over ethanol, and he changed his position on that. So that's not a moral position, but you know, at some point, I think people want you to just say the same thing wherever you are, and that you don't change your message depending on what your GPS is reading.
Yeah. Now, all of this came up because people were looking at the polls in Iowa, and we'll put up the Real Clear Politics poll average. There you are at 3% with, less than a month to go, about 3 weeks to go before the Iowa caucus. And you're almost 30 points behind Ted Cruz, who stands at almost 32% there. Can you make up the difference?
Well, sure. 4 years ago, Rick Santorum was in low single digits, 5 days out from the caucus. Nobody was even paying attention to him, and he ends up winning. 8 years ago, nobody thought I would win. Everybody was saying, what kind of second place might I possibly come in? And I didn't just win, but I have, to this day, the record for the most votes of any person ever competing in the Iowa caucuses. Iowa voters, they decide late, and people who don't think they do have not read history very carefully and looked at the caucuses. I say they date everybody in the field, but they don't put a ring on it until wedding day.
1 in 3 say they're undecided in the latest Iowa poll. Governor, thank you very much. Best of luck. Take care of that voice. I know you've been working it hard, so thank you.
Thanks.
Good
150 events in Iowa in January, so we're busy.
Have you pulled the full Grassley yet?
We did it. Finished it yesterday.
Right.
Town halls in every one of the 99 counties as of yesterday since the middle of May.
Way to go. Governor Huckabee, thanks so much.